Hi, this is Mia. It's Friday morning. My partner had to go in to work late, and I got in a bad mood because my whole life people said I talk too much, and that they don't want to hear, or they just blatantly or like just in my face like ignore me. Let me get some water. I took some detox tea. I took some rooibos. I drank rooibos. One type of detox and another type. Did I? Yeah, I think I must have. I don't know. There's 3 tea bags in my cup from last night. So I started with the rooibos tea bag, and then I kept that in there and added something else that had rooibos in it. Maybe I only had 2 cups. 2 or 3 cups. Let me get a water. I thought I had some artesian. There we go. Olive oil. I got a whole bunch of sparkling water. I got either mineral water or just fizzy water. I'm at the house by myself, and somebody, one of my friends, because like I'm telling in this group of friends, one of my friends had stated that they're getting separated from their partner and living in the same place, and at sunset they sit and it's lonely. And someone says, "Yeah, isn't that like that? When you're in the house with someone else, it's more lonely when you're like that than it is when you're by yourself, where you can do what you feel like you can do what you want to do, and you like if you want to play music. And so my thing is I like to put the music on and run around the house and go back and forth. In Portland, it's upstairs, down, up and down the stairs. Laundry's in the downstairs bathroom. Clothing closets are upstairs. So I like to keep active, even if I don't do it that much. In the last couple of years, I had been working 7 days a week. In the few years before that, I was going to school and working. I was going to medical school and working and training to be a midwife 24/7, 365. So those little pockets of time were different than they are now. Is too much open time. And it's like, oh, like the other day, oh, I have a webinar. I got to get a bunch of stuff done. And like, I didn't even do it. I didn't even do the stuff. I was like such a lazy bum. Yesterday, someone sent an invitation to a Zoom meeting at 6 that started at 7. It's like, oh my God, I totally forgot about it. But I had one to go do laundry. Now, if we had packed up the car to go do laundry, I feel like it would have been the smartest thing to do. Um, Literally, like, I feel like that would have been either don't do the meeting or get on your 4G and do the meeting with data, even if you only do a few minutes. My spare headphones are broken that we got last time we did laundry, so I don't know where the receipt is, but I'm about to be like, I want to take this back. That's not right. You use something for a few days and it breaks, whether it's $1 or $5. It's like, this is not right. And it's unfortunate you buy something and it's like what you have. A choice is crap, and how many people they're talking about Dollar Tree. How many times you keep buying these cheap electronics that break, and then you spend more than if you spent like you buy them 100 times. You could have bought $100 pair of headphones. My problem with that is sometimes you're lucky with this cheap stuff and it lasts forever, and you're like, oh, thank God. And sometimes you buy the $100 thing and it freaking breaks, and then you're like, now what? Like, now, like, where's the wrapper? Where's the warranty? I used to get so many Walmart warranties, and then the stuff would break, and we'd have an inspection, and we'd be throwing stuff away and stashing stuff in closets. And I'm like, oh, I'd find the warranty in the box and the broken headphones. Then we decided there's another inspection, and we throw the broken headphones away, and then you're like, oh, I have all this warranty info. Like, it's stupid. Like, I should have turned it in, and I wasn't organized. So that's a problem when you're not organized, or you're if there was an inspection, if you're not organized, you'll say, okay, where's each part? The packaging or the proof of purchase code on the package, the headphones, and then the warranty information. Like, someone had a good idea to do protective sleeves in a binder. You put all of your instruction manuals in that sleeve, and so it's like your TV, your answering machine, like old fashioned thing. like your phones, like all, like I thought that was a good idea, like popcorn maker, dehydrator. Like sometimes it's good to keep them. Everything is online nowadays. Sometimes it's good though if you read them, even if you don't have the physical copy. There'll be recipes. There'll be like maintenance. Like I just found out that that filter is supposed to be cleaned every 2 weeks, the outer one. And I don't know if you're supposed to wet. It didn't say how to clean it. I just vacuumed it. It didn't say if you could put it in water and let it air dry. I don't know. It seems like they can contribute to mold. That's just my opinion. So I've been in this pity pot today about nobody wanting to talk to me, and I was talking about clothing. I don't even know where the conversation started, but I end up writing about cancer and asbestos pajamas that my teacher for she taught some of our pathology class. He taught so many classes I can't remember anymore. Pharmacology, pathology, and I'm thinking in my mind we're exposed to asbestos and silica and get this talc and stuff in our lungs, and that can be devastating. Coal miner disease. You can be exposed to everyday toxins. I had a class that I did a part one as a presentation. It's online somewhere. I think it's for Chitari, CHITARI, Chitari Foundation. It'll have a class for sale called Everyday Toxins. I should put that in my resume. I had a part two I wanted to do as well, and that will be talking about, like, there's people that are super healthy. And of course, you have things like radon, and you have your neighbor spraying Roundup, and you have this beautiful organic garden, or you live in a rental and they're, like I found out, they're spraying pesticides and herbicides outside in your yard without a notice, or they're putting the anti moss on your roof without notice. So you're like looking outside, like, why is there white powder? All like, why can I see across the street? It's like white powder dust. And you're, oh my god, they're coming. Like, I had all these plants and a blueberry bush and all this stuff, and they were doing the house next door. I was like, oh my god, I didn't get a notice. There's gonna be. I told my daughter, come on, hurry up, get out as many trash bags as you can, bring the plants inside. I had everything in containers. I tried to take the big ones and cover it, because there's centipedes and junk in there. Like, they were gonna have a house full of bugs, organically bugs. And I was trying to take the sticks that were on the tomato plants and like put the bag over that to protect the plants, and it was super windy, so this white stuff was everywhere. And we went inside and locked the door, shut the windows, and everything was ruined. And people said, I called the manager. I go, I had a whole bunch of organic plants out here. What did you spray? I don't know if I could feed this to my family. And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Nothing's going to be toxic. This is made for residential use. And I was like, can you tell me the name of the company so I can call them? And they just blew me off. Like, she's got an organic garden. And I went to one of my teachers in med school, and they're like, yeah, that stuff. He either said, I think I saw somewhere that, or I heard them say that before, like, the stuff they use in the moss stuff is supposed to be harmless. I'm like, what if I put my guinea pig out there and cover him with it? Will it be hard? Like, he's looking at him, like, I don't know. Like, it kills something. Pesticide kills something. Herbicides and pesticides kill things. Fungicides, bacteriocides, antibiotics, sanitizers, bleach, all that stuff. You're just gonna drink it, eat it, let me put your baby out there and see how you feel about them breathing that in and eating it out of their mouth. And I could be wrong. I looked it up at the time, and it depended on what type they used. But either the teachers agreed with me or not, or tried to say you're stupid, it shouldn't harm your plants. But pretty much, like, my blueberry bush died. Like, pretty much everything got stunted. That's what happened. And I think I read someone else had everything got stunted. So if you had like a tomato plant, like, usually it grows, it gets rainy and sunny, it grows. Or you have a any kind of plant, flowers and stuff died or were stunted. And the next year I didn't know what to do, because this was a container garden that I'd read from the last place, and I had a bunch of organic plants for my kids' school fundraiser, and I had a bunch of organic Miracle-Gro, and I was buying the Miracle-Gro, and I was replanting the yard with organic soil. And it wasn't like I bought topsoil, it was like I bought little bags of Miracle-Gro, because that's all I could lift. And I was putting grass for the Pacific Northwest in the ground, little patches at a time. And anyways, they did construction, and all those guys with all their boots just tore it up. And my daughter's like, "One thing I want is to have a yard that has nice soft grass that I can walk around in." And I said that if we have an opportunity to take care of our own yard, I'm going to replace the yard, and why not make it organic? Because in Portland, the organic Miracle-Gro is cheaper than the regular Miracle-Gro. Most, like, a lot of times, like $6.50 per bag of that, and the regular was like $8-9 a bag for the same amount. Which that's sometimes common in the cities. Sometimes they just throw the price down for organic. I don't know why, or the company does it to get people to not automatically turn their nose. Like, it's automatically going to be more expensive, or they have specials. And I had or they just need to move the product, which is another thing. You don't want to get something old, but in big busy stores like that, stuff's coming in, going out. And then I wanted to replant the garden the next year, and I didn't know what to do. Because typically, you probably shouldn't do this, but I would do it if I had a ground garden. Dig the plants, clean the garden for winter, clean it up in the spring, plant new plants in there. And when you do that, you have I do have fertilizer a little bit for the houseplants. I think all my houseplants are dead. I had a whole bunch. I had some fertilizer, but I didn't necessarily spray my plants with fertilizer. What I would do is just go get a new bag of dirt, or go in the shed and get some dirt. And I kept it in a trash can, because the shed there's actually a utility closet. There's not a lot of room. I just add a bunch of cups of dirt through it, because it starts washing out of the bottom anyway, the worms and stuff. Just add a couple cups of new dirt on top, so the rain can pull down the nutrients to the roots, sometimes I'd bury the leaves and the stems and stuff in the dirt. It's already, you go out in the spring and it's already done. They're already just a shell of a leaf. Like, you have a leaf in the fall, it was all leafy, like thick, and then now you just have a grid of what was the plant. I'm gonna change gears. I was talking about health and pajamas, and I was gonna lead my conversation. I started talking about having old clothes for my daughter in West Virginia from the olden days, and what I was going to talk about was, this has been on my mind for decades. What are the chemicals in the clothing? A lot of times the underwear and pants, my mom just said wash your underwear before you wear it. Pants, you had a lot of things that said wash before wearing. There was that ad on those clickbait where they had someone's boob and it had all these holes, like it looked like worms had burrowed in. Oh my god, like that picture. I hate those clickbait. I do Yahoo News and I scroll down so far, and once you start getting a little bit, like, there's gonna be a picture of a vampire or a centipede. Like, they put, like, at nighttime especially, like, those things do not go out of your mind. So be careful what you look at, what you listen to, what you watch, what you hear, what you smell. So I saw that one with the like, you should watch, this is why you should wash your bras. And of course I didn't click on it, but I'm like, it's different when you had a washing machine. We'd go to Goodwill, even new stuff. It's like, it's got to go to the washing machines, general wash, and or if you need to hand wash it, hand dry it. And maybe if you had to do something with that, with wool or something, and you get it used, you could put it in the dryer. Sometimes people claim to put it in the dryer as soon as they get from the Goodwill on high heat to kill any bed bugs, and then wash it. Because people probably don't even they say they wash it. They probably just lie. Because they talk about putting this stuff in there with laundry sheets to make them fresh, and then putting them in containers. So it's like, are you really washing it? You with tags. Are you really hand washing every knee with tags? It's gonna be all wrinkled and weird, you know. And not, it'll be soft and not stiff, or stiff and not soft if you don't put it in the dryer. And I was thinking about all the chemicals in your dyes. You're processing what is going out. Like, I call it the new car smell. You get a new car, this that new car smell, and it's some of it's outgassing from the plastics to the chemicals released into the air, breaking down, and some of it is let's like to say it is the same thing. It's like this shirt. If I were to weave my own cloth and make a shirt, like, I mean, you could spray it with starch. You could put fabric conditioner in there. You could pre-wash it and use a chemical and dry it, even if it's scent free, to help set the color so that when they touch it, the ink or the color doesn't come off on their hand, or they wear it without washing. It's like I'd have a blue stripe here. There's a lot of things in textiles that you don't really think about. That it's not really. It's nice to wear new clothes. You go out and it looks new and shiny, but it's got stuff on it, and it makes it look better in the stores, and it makes it look new. And some of it, like I said, is even like starches. I had been wearing my own lab coat at my old job, and they said, no, you have to wear our lab coats. And I was mad, and I said, I have allergies. I have like 3 lab coats. I said, I have allergies, and I need my lab coat to be chemical free, you know, or allergen free. And they're like, well, we don't care. We're provided. We'll wash it. You don't have to worry about washing it. And I was like, okay, fine. And one of the first times they did it, like, what, the little person that was extra small, and they come walking in like a robot, like, does anyone else's coat seem stiff? Because they're like, oh my god, I think they use too much starch. And it's kind of gross thinking that you're wearing a coat that's been washed and ironed and starched. I don't know if they're actually ironed. And they're like, because they could hang them and starch them, I don't know, and spray them, I mean. And you're like, that could be from the hospital, that could be from all these other labs. Like, it's like, gross me out. And instead of like your own lab, like germs, like don't die. But yeah, mostly starch for clothing is corn, and I have a corn allergy. I remember getting excited about sterile gloves for the first time, and the gloves they had in our surgery classes, the powdered gloves, and we were putting them on and doing everything, wash your hands before and after, and then the rest of the day it's like my arms are covered in rash. And I did that at my old job, my vending job. Someone left a pack of gloves in the cart, and I didn't read the box, and I put them on one day to clean or something, and same thing, I looked down and I'm covered in a rash, and I'm like, oh my god. Those are powder, like corn powder. And you would think, I think this all the time, if I have an allergy, often your allergy, like gluten and is gliadin, is the protein of that plant, that chemical that you're allergic to is from the protein. So that's why it's weird that I said the corn starch is the starch, but I still, and it's not just where I touch the item. It's like up my arms. I didn't have gloves up that far. It just spreads all over my body. Even if I wash, it's like a breakup in a rash, or hives. And it's scary because it's like a chemical or a allergic reaction. And what was the other allergen? Oh, like a lot of the pregnant women had lactose intolerance. And sometimes I feel like sometimes in pregnancy their allergens come and go, and your immune system is supposed to be lower when you're pregnant so that you don't like expel the baby. There's different things the body does intelligently to keep the baby in there, because that baby is a foreign object. Like, if someone coughs on me right now, my body's going to go in defense mode and attempt to eradicate everything. But it's like it comes out, and it's like like, okay, there's a baby that has its own womb, it has its own placenta to live in, but it's still inside of you. There's a whole bunch of other stuff, immunology, that you could go around being pregnant. But it was the dairy allergy. Cheese, like, and it's weird because aged cheese, I feel like the lactose is naturally, the bacteria is like eating it up or something. Like, how you get lactate milk, and you have like, the women were like, oh, you could still eat butter, the fat. You're like, wait, does the fat not have the allergen? So that's something to look into. I'm not like sitting here trying to tell people what to do. I'm just saying, look this up with your doctor or your nurse practitioner or your, I don't know what, dietitians. I have to keep active. I didn't do much movement yesterday. My body is just torn up, and I was like, this place is a mess, and I'm like, I physically don't feel well, and like, my partner came home early, like really early, and I was like, oh shoot, I have a class that I sign up for every week, 3 to 4:15, and I was thinking, you know what, like, I'm like, oh yeah, I should probably eat something, like, not that I'm gonna starve, and I was like, because I didn't know if I was gonna turn the camera on, I was like, let me eat something, and I was like, 2:30, 2:45. I was like, I'm starting to get peppy. I'm starting to get like, okay, Mia, you're up. Let's get going on the day. Like, and I was like, really, like, it's like I'm up at 6, or the alarm goes off at 5:15. I hear my partner getting ready to go, and the lights come on, and it's like in the middle of the night. If he sees me even open my eyes or get up to use the bathroom, it's like, lights, TV, turn up volume, like, I'm like, I woke up, I opened my eyes, and normally if you're by yourself in the dark, you're like, go back to sleep, like, if you gotta pee, go now, before you wake up in a comfortable position, you have to run there, which I've done, been there, done that. You're like, oh, it's so warm right now, I'm awake, I don't want to go pee, but you're like, and 40 minutes from now, you're even more comfortable and more warm. And that's what I have to be grateful about. My group has different people in different situations, and there are multiple houses their families own, and people have mothers and fathers and relatives. And I can't even fathom what it would be like to even have a relative and or a friend that you can talk to regularly and be a part of society. That's where I am today. Is you guys are my friends, and that's been the lifesaver for me to have this oh my god, these people are still trying to these people are still trying to you know what, I'm gonna send this chick this on deck. Like, sometimes you send everything you have for your business for these PPP loans, and it's like, thank you, we're gonna process this, and these people are asking for all these documents I don't have, and like, what about the self-employed? Like, well, the SBA requires this is like, all those other people just playing me and be like, oh yeah, your application is complete, we got everything, we just have to see if the funds are available. You're not been actually approved, but your paperwork has been approved. So shared files from Google Drive. Let's see. I don't even think I have my 1099 on here on my Google Drive. Take a picture. Oh, wait. Take a picture. It's on my phone. How do I do that? And then I respond with my phone, so save this as a draft. How do you do that? I'm trying to get like $150. They only want to give me $150. Detailed payroll from... You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go through and make a spreadsheet of all of my appointments from... Treasury Retail Securities. Oh, that must be the savings bond. Something else came from the Treasury a couple weeks ago. Or from the IRS. I better... I don't know what that was. The kids said that they claimed they didn't get anything in the mail that week. And I had the pictures of all the stuff that was supposed to come. So stupid. I'm going to have to make a spreadsheet of every time I got money. They're saying it for the PPP that if you were in business since February 15, 2020, if you didn't work last year, you only need to provide bank statements from January and February and maybe March. And that would be way better for me. February was horrible, though. I only had one patient, and it was a person who hasn't paid me a penny. And I was like, they might have saved my butt. Because I only had one person. It's so hard when you're self-employed, and like I almost want to put seasonal. It's not like, oh, I have a arcade I run at the beach during the summer and starting spring break. It's like I have clients. It's like real estate or something. It's like, I don't know. It's like feast and famine. It's like you might not sell anything for a couple months, then you might sell 3, then you might sell like 6, and then you go back to like 2 months and nothing. Like, it's hard to... It's like you could document that, which is what I did. Document when the money came, every penny I got is on there. This is so stressful. It's like, I gave you my 1099. I gave you my bank account statements. I showed you where the money was coming from. I can take money from customers, but I don't receive money from customers because no one is cash pay. I'm open to receive cash pay, which reminds me, let's do the square and get off here and take a walk because I'm getting worked up. So I can get worked up by myself. My partner would be in his wrath. My wrath would be crossing to him. But what do you do when you could sit all weekend or all day with someone and they'll be on their computer and they'll get on the phone and talk to their friends, and then they'll talk and you interrupt and they're like, don't interrupt me, but you hear them on there with their friends interrupting every other word, and they're at the doctor and they're interrupting every other word, and you're just like, she asked you a question, you need to answer that first before you move on. Like they're like, they want to know and they want to check stuff, and some of this they have to put on their computer. And I have a feeling, like, until you answer that question, they're, like, answer the question, and then they can go on, and then they can type what you're saying, or help you with that problem. But if they need to know, like, when your last refill your meds was, so they can get your script right, the date right, like, you need to just answer it, because they're going to fixate on making sure they don't forget that question. And then it's like, the TV can be on, it's like every cute little girl, every cute blonde, every cute news reporter with their eye contact on the camera and their smile, they can like sit and like drool over those people and laugh when they laugh. And then it's like, you tell somebody that you have like really bad cramps and you need help getting to the bathroom because you're like keeled over in half, and they just like stare at the TV. Like, I get so mad, guys. And it's like, you've been sitting there drooling over these women that are dressed nice, they're on TV, they have the hair and makeup done, they have the lighting right, they're white, they have long hair, or they're black and they have fake hair, and you're like sitting there like that for 14 hours, and it's like I ask you to help me, or I have a cramp because I feel like I got a hernia trying to get up in this tall bed, and then I'm like, like, could you please hand me the water? Like, I need to take a break from trying to move. Because I feel like sometimes I feel like either it's like my colon or it's my, like I could have got a hernia, and I'm like, I don't want to make it worse. Like, if you get a tear in your body, you don't want to make it worse, but you want to, if you can drink water or go to the toilet and try to see if the symptom goes away, you need to do this carefully and get help if you can. So we're going to order a Square card reader. I already had one I got for free, and I'm not going to, I thought I bought the chip reader. So I'm just going, oh shoot, I have a password. I don't know what it is. Looks like I have saved it on the computer. So what do I want to do today? I want to order a Sharps container. I think it's stupid to have my clinic set up to see patients when I don't even what if I don't even like, well, actually sign into Square. I feel like I should have just done it as a for products online store. Let's go there. Good. They have payroll here. I feel like build a free online store for any kind of business, really? Really? I've been paying for a different store for my trinket. Oh, it goes to Weebly. Weebly. Alright, let's. I thought it was online store as in what I can buy from them. Virtual terminal, invoices, loyalty. This is all for customer service. I'm gonna go watch some prepper movie or something, because this I know that I do talk a lot, and I know that people don't want to listen, and I know that I don't really have a lot of friends, and sometimes if someone brings up the topic that is bringing up traumatic situations or has to do with income and I'm in severe poverty, I get really like overwhelmed. I stress eat too. My stomach area feels like I ate a bathtub. Like, I just feel like such a glutton. And I don't know if it's like I'm constipated, part of it, because my friend told me this. She did a physical exam on me and I had to do something, and she's feeling my stomach, and she's like, yeah, you have a little soft, but it's like completely hard underneath. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know, like muscle. I don't know why I have like an inch of fat and then solid muscle, and then but my gut is like this wide, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, is my stomach like swelled up and backed up because I'm eating maybe these kelp noodles, or the nutritional yeast bloated? Like, is my bowels, am I severely constipated, or I have 40 pounds of bowel movement? And partly, probably, but I also, when your bowels get backed up, I keep thinking for myself, my thighs get fat. I have a double chin. My hands get fat. What else? Everything. Stomach, fat. Fat gonna go from a half an inch to 2 inches. And which used to be a lot of extra skin from being fat before. And it's like painful. Like, it feels like it's swelling up, bloating, swelling up. The skin is, and the tissues around the fat is stretching, and it hurts. Seeing myself smile in my old pictures, not only was I young, but I was thinner, and seeing myself smile now, and you're like, you need to change your thumbnail on your accounts, because if people see you for real, they're going to be scared. It's like, you need to add this those 60 pounds that you gain or those 40 pounds that you gain back. Like, that's embarrassing. So everything is like emotional. I think that I was ovulating the day before yesterday and yesterday. You get stringy mucus when you wipe after the bathroom, and I had severe breast tenderness 2 days ago. Like, I just had my period like a week and a half ago. Why am I like this? Like, wait, the full moon, is that causing me to do something? I felt emotional. Mother's Day is coming. I feel like I have to fight so I'm gonna order this. I'm just gonna order this Square card reader for $10, free shipping. I'm just gonna do it. Oh yeah, let me tell you 2 goals, and then I'll go back to what I was saying. I want to clean that desk table over here, or this table thing over here. Put the printer up, and I want to take the scale that's right here in a box, and I don't know where to put it. It needs to be on a flat place. I might stick it over on that table. There's a plug over there and everything. I might do that. There's a lamp we don't use. My plant is dying. There's some boxes here that we don't touch. There's a couple cans, and I think there's a couple bowls and some silverware. So I think I should film some of it, even though I'm using up the memory. But I get motivated more. There's a couple of screws over here. I need to take some of these screws, so I don't have any nails, and there's already holes in the wall everywhere. No, I think they're bugs on the ceiling, on the wall, all over the place. So I feel like getting that spackle. I was like so wanting to like in the lease, like, you're not allowed to put any holes in there. You're not gonna get so pretty. I was like, when you moved in, there's like 1,500 holes in the freaking wall, and it's nasty and dirty and moldy. There's mice chewing through the walls. It's scary. But I think I want to hang up some of these pictures that we're going to keep. And there's a stair that takes up so much space. All these pictures are right here. We could put pictures all the way down the wall. And in the curve that goes into the garage, there's a stairs in a doorway. And there's like so much space on each side. And the space, there is a slit, like a tilt, or whatever you call it, but it's like the area that it goes up 2 stories, and you could just put all these pictures that are back here that you can't see on the wall. And I don't know how long we're going to be here with the coronavirus and the price of living and not having consistent income. It gets to be a little bit like, well, maybe we should live here, and you get used to the people here. My fears are you can move somewhere a lot worse and not be able to move back to where you are. So sometimes it's like I didn't move until it's absolute, like you have to be close to your kid's school, or you have to move out of state, like, or your time, it's limited time on the shelters. You had a limited time until you get on a wait list. When you get up on the wait list at the other place, you move there. I have to get used to, and this is exhausting, fighting to do, just like those ladies understood last night, fighting to do what you have to do. If I wake up in the morning and I drink water, get some carbs, get my nuts, play a couple games, check my email, check my Facebook, pray, meditate, read a spiritual guide, that could take freaking 3 hours. Go use the bathroom 2-3 times, start washing my face, start getting dressed, and then it'll be like 9-10 o'clock in the morning, 8-9-10 o'clock. I could do that from 5-6 o'clock till 9 o'clock a.m. And then it's like, okay, do I need a couple of phone calls? Do I need to get document? Like, I have 3 documents that I need to send that I know of right now, and it's 11:14. Do I have any meetings at noon? Like, do I have any appointments? What am I going to take a shower today? Am I going to change the bed today or not? Are we going to laundry or not? Am I going to make his chicken in the crock pot or not? I have all of those kind of things that I think about, and I get to that space where I'm like, I get to that space where I want to do the things I need to do in my timing that works for me. My friend was in a wheelchair. So my goal right now is, whether it's the weekend, whether he comes home early, whether he comes home late, whether I'm sitting at home all day waiting for companionship, and I've got 10 minutes left of a webinar I'm doing for my license CE requirements, and just the knowledge that I signed up and I wanted to do it, and because I'm sitting there for 10 minutes, like, well, I'm gonna go fishing with my friend without you, and I'm just like, I've been sitting in the house for 6 days, 12, 14, 21 days. I went to the store one time. I've been walking around the neighborhood with all these people coughing, their dogs barking at me, and it stinks outside, and it's like, you can't even wait and go, let me go out and sit on a water edge and just be in peace for a couple hours. But then you're like, fine. And then I get my feelings hurt, or I'll feel sick. I'll have a stomach ache or something. And if it's not diarrhea or something, I'll be like, oh, yeah, let's go fishing. They're like, oh, well, I'm going to meet my friends. And I'm like, well, if I do end up with diarrhea or something, I'm going to have to say I have to go home immediately. And you're going to be with your buddies hanging out. Like, so I'm like, just go without me then. Like, it's just me and you. You could stop and drive me, or drive myself to a porta potty, you know. But if you're going to have this, and you have your friends, and you might end up at their house, and then their kids got to go, and then they got to deal with their wife, and they got to go pick up food, and like all this stuff, and then it's like, it's too overwhelming because you told me that it was going to be me and you. I don't mind doing stuff with their friends, but sometimes you do something, and you get stuck there, and you don't feel well, and then you're just like, I want to go home, and you got this people talking crap to you in your face, their kids are all over you, the dogs are like whining for something, and you're just like, now I'm at their house. I feel like I'm gonna end up having to cook, clean, and start changing the beds. Like I'm supposed to be a guest, and it's like it's not relaxing. Like there's not a place where you go, where I've gone, in 10 years where you're like a guest, where you bring a salad and you bring some drinks, and some sodas and some kids games, and you sit down, the kids play, and you hop in the kitchen, and you sit down and have a meal together, and sit afterwards, watch a movie, and curl up on the couch with their cat, you know. I have it's like, you gotta bring someone in to like do like I don't mind helping others, but if you don't feel well yourself, and you're overwhelmed, and you are not in control of the situation, you're like, if you're driving or you're walking to your friends or neighbors or customer's house, and then you want to stretch your boundaries, you say, no, I have to go home now. I'm not going to, like, my time is up here, you know. But if you're in a ride from someone, you could sit out in the car, it might be cold. Like, there's all these things. And my partner will say, you have all these anxieties. You have this stuff holding you back. You won't do stuff because you have anxiety. I was like, you were dating these rich girls, these blonde-haired girls. They did everything. They robbed people, stole people, like pretend that they were so kind and giving with their wealth, and doing stuff to hide from the tax man, and having all these yachts and boats and vacation homes and all this luxury. Like those people, like, they had less stress than me. They had like society that treats them like princess because they have blonde hair, blue eyes, and they have like all these things, and it's like, I have anxieties or whatever, but it's like, for someone being freaking broke and poor and having been booted out of my family at birth, it's like, I'm lucky. You know, my anxieties, yeah, I might say I want a life jacket when I'm on a boat. I'm not a strong swimmer. You know? It's like, I had a lake in my backyard. We'd wade. We would hardly swim. Like, we're actually in the deep water swimming laps. In the pool, that's another thing, but you only have to, you're that close to the edge. I wasn't a strong swimmer. There's people I watch swim across my big lake in Oscoda. Strong swimmers, you know, and they would do it once. This lady would do it once a year, unless she had rowboats or motorboats next to her, spotting her, you know, because that's hard. And if I'm anxious and I want a freaking life jacket, and I want an emergency first aid kit, and I want my EpiPen, and I want this before I go out of the house, is because I have my throat closed up. It's because I've almost drowned, and I've saved other people who've almost drowned in the lake or in the river. People that didn't just jump in and say, I can't swim, I'm going to sink. We were swimmers. We were trained to swim, and we got stuck, or we got cramps. Or you got, like me, lightheaded and passed out. I'm not going to sit in there and make fun of me because I brought 3 coats on a summer day. When I get freaking cold, the sun goes down, I'm shivering, I'm freezing. Why be uncomfortable because someone makes fun of you, when all you have to do is bring your winter coat and wrap up and be warm? And even if you're not super warm, at least you're not shivering. Why leave that stuff in the closet at home? Because someone made fun of you or someone said, no, you don't need that. You always overdress. I don't know. I've been in Portland for a long time. I've been in Michigan. You layer. You got your underclothes, your long johns. You got your t-shirt. You got your fleece. You got the, some other fleece flannel or something on top of that. And you, go out. You have your gloves, your hats, your scarves. You take stuff off when it gets sunny and warm. It gets shady. It drops 30-degree temperature. Just because your blood boils and you're warm. Like, white people walk around all summer, all winter, freaking shorts and tank tops and flip-flops on in Portland. I'm under my car in a snowsuit, freaking putting snow tires on. You're walking around in flip-flops. I don't care if you're walking around in flip-flops. Don't make fun of me because I'm wearing a pair of snow pants to wait at the bus stop when it's 18 degrees outside with a wind chill of -3. My family is from near the equator. My ancestors are from Africa, where it's warm and hot. It's like, put me out on a hot day. Yeah, I'll start sweating. I grew up in Michigan. I have Irish blood in me. Like, I'll start sweating and getting hot, but I'll finally feel alive for the first time. I'll feel the warmth of that sun on my skin. You guys have white skin. You can feel the warmth of the sun on your skin all year round. But the dark skin is like it blocks the vitamin D lights, the UV lights that come in are blocked by my skin color and my thick hair, it's airy, it's curly, there's a puff up. It's like it feels like it's like an umbrella, a natural umbrella or something from the sun. I'm getting because a lot of white men have freaking skin cancer. You can see right on their foreheads, or on their heads. Bald-headed people, they had years and years of going out, and their blonde hair was thin. The sun shone right down on them. I was like, don't make fun of me. I don't make fun of you because you're just underdressed, but I'm miserable when I'm cold. You're not going to hand me a coat. I'm not going to be, I don't have a blanket in the back. I try to put it through in the trash, What am I supposed to do? But it's like, I know how my body works. I know how to study. I have lots of anxieties. But my kids survived. I carried them life jackets. The other kids were jumping off cliffs. I said, do not jump off cliff. The church kids, the pastor's kids were jumping off the cliffs into the river, breaking all the rules. The sign clearly said not to do it. And I had my kids in life jackets. Everyone made fun of me. One of my neighbors, before we moved in, drowned in that same river. Well, every year that people drown in there because it goes from warm weather to cold water from the mountain, and it makes people's legs cramp up and they sink. You know what I mean? Why should I? If I want to risk my life, that's one thing. But put my kids in life jacket until I know they're strong swimmers and that the water temperature is adequate. From that snow runoff, and it's like, mind your business. Unless you would help me. You would help me grab my coat, carry it to the car, so I can take that off. I wear a coat in freaking middle of winter or summer because I don't like air conditioners in the grocery store. Especially when they have open bins for milk and meat and freezer stuff. That stuff just, like right now my legs cold. Like that stuff makes me sick. I get sick. Why should you be insane and do the same thing over and over, such different results, and end up sick all the time, uncomfortable? And it's like, it's not helping you. I'm ending up in debt right now. It's insanity. It's got to stop. So change to have a solution. If you don't want to help me, then you mind your business and do what you need to do. I try to help you and you scold me, then I'm going back to helping myself because I'm helping you, getting scolded by you, and I'm letting my own life slip away. But they have those privileged class people. They have multiple houses. They have parents with money. They're sitting there eating out restaurant food every single day, talking about this, talking about that, remodel a house, get a new car, get a new dog, this, full breed dog, blah, 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 blah. All this stuff their kids had. They go to this fancy place that costs $7,000 in this private school that costs this, but we're not rich. We don't have money. But you have 3 houses and you have income generating property. It doesn't mean that you're wealthy, but you got more than I got and you don't even realize it. All these people said they were going to donate their freaking checks to the freaking library. Well, I don't need the money. I'm going to give my money away. Was I not one of these people? Well, they told me I couldn't share in the Al-Anon meeting. I couldn't do the Al-Anon meeting because I didn't have the meditation book. So you don't see those people spend $7 for me to get a meditation book. They tell me I can't share in the meeting, or I can't run the meeting one weekend. So I never asked to read. I never asked to run the meeting. I've been going to Al-Anon longer than any of those people because I started in 2004. Going every week, at least once a week. And I had been going on and off after that, just like AA, because I had school and work and births and my kids to take care of. Then I got back into it regularly out here, but I was still going to Al-Anon. And it's like I've been in and out of here. I've been done through the steps, maybe not through this program, but it's the same freaking 12 steps based off of AA. I've been doing the steps over and over since 2004 with a sponsor. Just because you fools won't let me share, I couldn't afford the book. They didn't put me on a payment plan like AA puts you on a payment. If you can't afford it, you can make arrangements and pay $1 a week or whatever. So you pay your $10. It's like they won't call me. They won't be my sponsor. Nothing. And it's like fine. It's like it's like I'm adventurous enough to keep going to the meeting. I'm adventurous enough to sign up to go to Key West to go sailing up the Gulf of Mexico. I was adventurous enough to go to the base of Mount Hood. I couldn't afford to go up. Some of it I couldn't afford to do. I was adventurous enough to go live out on the road out of desperation, but to live out on the road and drive back and forth across the country and live out of a tent in a Jeep with 7 animals. I was adventurous enough to take my kids to every event that I could take them to in NA, Narcotics Anonymous. From bowling to fishing to camping. They had the 4th of July picnic. They had the other picnics where you had to pay money to get in. I think they had Oaks Park. Yeah, they had the Oaks Park day where you went and got the bracelets. They had barbecues and like free hot dogs, 50 cents for the sodas. I take my kids to whatever I can, whether I'm anxious or not, whether I have money or not. Taking my kids to bowling alleys. Taking my kids to their rich friends' birthday parties at the pool, at the community centers, fancy houses up in the hills. I get lost with my GPS back in the old days. I was adventurous enough to put myself through medical school. I was homeless. So whether or not I'm anxious or nervous or have trauma, it doesn't mean that I actually keep telling people. Joyce Meyer had said it the best. She goes, you're going in for a job interview, you're scared, you're nervous, you're sweating. She was getting there to take a shower, put some nice clothes on, and you put on some deodorant and you put extra deodorant on because you're sweating, because you're nervous. She goes, just do it, you're afraid. That's emotion. Just do it afraid, she said. The error would be for me to not try. To not do it afraid, to not be nervous, to know that I'm anxious, to know that I almost drowned, and still go back out in a boat or still go in the water and play. I keep trying to tell people, it's so easy. They didn't teach you this in medical school because it's holistic. Everyone's like, oh, you're a holistic health practitioner. I'm a holistic person who happens to practice medicine. When I first started going to medical school, being a patient there, before that, I was thinking about holistic meditation, prayer, spiritual life, body, mind, soul. But when we got in there, we were getting, for the Oregon Health Authority, everyone's saying, no, naturopaths are going to be primary care physicians. Take insurance, do this. Everything changed. So you went to naturopathic medical school to learn how to be like an MD who could also prescribe supplements and herbs and do drug interactions. So you try to learn that stuff like the back of your hand, So I got trained. We didn't get trained like a lot of woo-woo energy, this, that, and the other, Of course, you got trained on herbs, you got trained on plants, you got trained on what's toxic. You're trained on homeopathy, physical medicine, hydrotherapy, stimulate electrical stim machines, and all that stuff. Massage, and some of that stuff is optional, or you take extra classes, immunology, research, statistics, all that kind of, epidemiology, microbiology, biochemistry. You should basically learn to be like an MD, but you happen to have the skills to do the natural healing. But I think holistically, I think my mental emotional is like so scared to go to a boat, or so scared to meet with these people at the meeting, or so scared to drive the car. But my spiritual person's saying, you could do it, Mia. You got God's help. You have a body. You're alive enough today. If that kills you, at least you lived another day to see the sunrise this morning, to talk to your kids one more time. You know what I'm saying? But just because I'm scared or anxious or fearful doesn't stop. I told my counselor the other day, he's like, well, we're not going to talk about your past until you learn how to calm yourself down from it. I was like, screw calm myself down from it. I've been dealing with this from the day I was born. I do everything right. My 3 priorities: don't kill yourself over it, don't pick up alcohol, don't pick up drugs, and don't pick up nicotine over it. I might overeat over it or something. I might find myself, I had an exercise bike, I'd be sitting on there working out right now. But it's like, just do what you have to do. The spirit person, the physical person, has the ability to push the mental, emotional aside. And yes, I'm going to go to the job interview, and I'm going to do audio recording in the car. I'm like, oh my God, I got to get my paperwork together. Do I look okay? Let me make sure I don't have stains on my butt, you know? And I'm going to be shaking, and I'm going to want to cry when I leave because I'm going to be emotional. I sit alone most of my life. When something is out of the ordinary, or meet new people, or try to present myself as who I am, in reality, I'm not being fake, which being fake probably would get me a job. I will be looking at my life, and it's just like a storm's blowing in. It's exciting. It's different. It's scary. It's new. It's like having a new boyfriend. You're like, your heart's beating, you're nervous. Usually when I meet a guy, I'm like, why am I even with this fool? Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I don't want to do anything out of desperation anymore. But just do it afraid. If I sit and why am I inside the house? I don't have a car. I don't have a job outside the house. I don't have any customers. Actually, I do have a customer from eBay. I gotta deal with that. I can walk up and down the street. The street is busy. If it wasn't so busy, I would go jogging. If I have my own little dirt road, I go up and down that road. You know, and evaluate the property and look at the freaking flowers and, you know, plant some flowers up at the mailbox. You know, I would run up and down the street. I would ride my bike, venture out and to the main road and see the other neighbors and wave with them. Like I don't have a bike. This road is freaking thin. When you walk up and down the street, cars are coming up and down all day. During this time of day, I have to walk in on someone else's grass to keep from getting hit by a car. Now, it's not fun. I do it anyway. But it's like, I'm going to sit inside this house and wish that I had somewhere to go or an office to go sit in, you know, that I come and go from my office and do my orders and talk to my customers. And I was going to stop the video a long time ago. The last thing I want to say, I had a potential customer call me, and we were in the car. We were in Annapolis. There was fire sirens and stuff going on. There was activity. We were in a parking lot with a whole bunch of cars. They were doing door-to-door service, parking lot service. And I said, I'm not home right now. I'm going to have to call and check you later. I couldn't get my internet to work, so I wanted to be able to pull up my schedule and my electronic health record. And I had come home, and my boyfriend is looking at me. And then we're in one room, and the bathroom's right there. So you're on the phone, someone flushed the toilet, someone's coughing, someone's sneezing, someone is peeing. You can hear all of that. Someone's grunting or making noise. You can hear all of that, you know? And it's like, we had a chainsaw running last night, and I was on this meeting. I had to mute myself. And I keep having to do that. People say, are you even there? It's like, yeah, I live in a place where I have no privacy. I have this noise of lawnmowers, and like, how am I supposed to do telehealth like that? It's like, oh yeah, I am at my house. Some people have kids crying and crawling around them and dogs barking and stuff, and I understand. But for me, it's like, I can't control it. It's not my dogs and my kids, it's somebody else making noise. And you can tell someone to go take care of your dogs and your kids while you do a conference for 30 minutes. But when you live with other people and it's their house or their house they own it or they have their right to be there. You can't really tell them shut the heck up. Like sometimes you want to say, please, I have a class where I have to be present and there's going to be 300 people and they're going to unmute us, and it's like your chainsaw is like going to, I'm not going to be able to participate. You don't participate, you don't get credit, and it gets scary. But I just say, God is going to work it out. God is going to work the timing out. They're going to go take their lunch break right at the right time. But it's like, I don't even know anymore. Oh, I came back in. I went and sat there. I opened up my schedule. I had 2 schedules. And I got my book open, tried to think about what do I need to do the EHR. I need their name, their address, their phone number, their email address, their date of birth, so I can do the EHR and send secure documents that way. And what happened is I end up doing that. And I was like, sometimes because I'm so worked up, plus we were driving the city and back, and I don't like riding with other people. They seem to stop too close to the cars in front of me, slam on the brakes. It's like you got like a drink or something in your hand, and they slam on the brakes as the light turns red, and it's just like your stuff all goes flying and spilling all over you, and you're just like, oh my God, like I was so stupid. Or you're bent down to do something, and they take a curve real fast, and you're like, oh my God. Like I would drive my kids around, see someone's drinking something, you stop slowly at the light. Like, I would slow down at a light anyways, because you don't know when it's going to turn yellow to red, or if the car in front of you is going to get a yellow and just slam on their brakes. Like, you don't, like, I try to just, like, be cautious. It's like, I don't want to drive 55 through the light when it's 55. Maybe other people behind me get mad. At least go down to 47, you know. If it's a long yellow and you know it, that's one thing. If it's a red light camera, then shh. But you don't know the person in front of you is going to turn their brake. You don't want to be driving 60 and have the cars behind you think you're going to keep driving 60 because they can't see a little car going slow in front of you. So it's like, I said, God, I wish I had a place, like an office or a room or something where I could just decompress, where I could just, like, get down this stress out. It's like, it's embarrassing about how someone is staring at you while you have to make a patient phone call, and you're trying to be professional. You don't have an office. You're not in an office. You're not answering the, hello, this is Town of Health, and I'll see how may I help you. You don't have an answering service. You don't have those nice sounds around you that sounds like a clinic, you know. You have, like, and then my mental, it's like, I want to carry myself to remember what I need to ask. When you're in this society, you're black, and white people don't even know how much privilege they have, and they don't know how much that they are being rude to you and making rude comments. They don't even realize, they're like, oh yeah, like, I'm not racist, I'm not this, and you don't even know how many times a day that I hear this stupid stuff, and you're just like, that was like freaking rude, racist, and disrespectful. And then it's like, being disrespectful, like telling me to shut up, this, and that's, like, I know I talk too much, so it's like, you could say it nice, like, okay, I'm sorry, but I just need to take a break right now from the talking. Like, you could say it nicely. And then it's like, I'm sitting in here trying to get on a freaking professional call, and I'm walking around feeling like I'm being abused, feeling like people are belittling me, people making me feel like a loser because I don't have what they have, because I can't get a job anywhere. It's like, well, my job is to be a naturopathic doctor. There's no one in the city hiring for a naturopathic doctor. They might want me to rent space so they can get money off me, but they're not saying, yes, we're going to work with you, here's your salary, here's your pay rate. It's like they belittle you, and you have to be at the highest professional level. And you're not faking when you're at the highest professional level, because that's your training and that's what your job has been for 5 years. You've been calling every other imaging center, lab, getting results, like calling this practitioner, blah, 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 talking to professional people about your client, about your patient's state of health, calling the school to get extra help for your patient, all this stuff. You be a professional because that's what you're trained to do. You did it all through medical school, calling pharmacy, ordering medications, making compound medications, the compound pharmacy, all this stuff. But if someone treat you like garbage, you go out in the real world and they see you as timid and unprofessional and maybe not knowledgeable because you're like meek. You know? I'm tired of it. And it's like you have social groups, you have people that are professionals doing better than you, and they're stupid. I don't know what's going on. Something else time. I had to go. This is filling up the battery or the data. Bye.